I lived on a farm. I picked cotton with my hands every fall from probably age 6 to 17. School was segregated. Church was segregated. Swimming pools were segregated. Restaurants were segregated. Churches, restaurants, motels, everything was segregated. Racial prejudice among whites was just the way it was. So I go to Harding College, which was affiliated with the Churches of Christ, and it's segregated. But at Harding, there are faculty members who certainly were not outspoken on the issue, but from time to time I would hear one of them say about segregation, they would say, "This is wrong," or "This is not right." That bothered me. I was at a point that was 180 degrees different from the one that I had brought to college with me. I began to be very appreciative of national leaders, including the Kennedy brothers, who were saying things on this subject. It was just all over the news that these things were happening at Ole Miss. James Meredith was actually admitted on Monday, and in the course of the day, the U.S. Marshals there were very much subject to intimidation. There was even, gunfire and, Molotov cocktails. Being crazy college boys, we got the idea, well, why don't we just drive down there? It's not all that far away. It was an all-night drive at that point in time, but in any event, we drove there, 4 of us, in a black 1955 Buick Special, and we got there before dawn. There were troops everywhere with guns, many of them with bayonets on them, many of them wearing gas masks. And we had probably not gone more than 3 or 4 blocks till the Mississippi National Guard is doing a dragnet of the whole area. So the 4 of us are gathered up and made to march 2 by 2 with our hands, clasped over our heads. We certainly weren't heroes. We were glad to be there. You had the sense that you were where history was really happening at that point in time. I think that people who ever doubted that something really big was happening and was going to, move on to completion, I think that tended to have the effect of removing doubts that this civil rights movement is for real. So we got a long way to go, and the only way to make significant progress in the long run is to somehow achieve sustained attention and energy devoted to this, as opposed to just every now and then. I've had the good fortune of working at a university, and I've had the good fortune of working specifically at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. I've had the good fortune of having a lot of associates that shared the concern and the commitment. We deliberated and talked for some period of time about what should we at the university do, sort of in addition to what all universities have undertaken to do. But, what beyond that do we need to do? And among the sort of central conclusions we came to, the foremost one was there's still a problem. I think we've done a lot of things that have moved things in the right direction, but we're kidding ourselves if we think that we still don't have a long way to go. If people won't face it, then you're never going to fix it. And certainly one of the important services of a university is to sort of put the truth out there.